Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well today. A quick little invitation to all of you IB Economics students to head on over to my website, bradcartwright.com, a website designed to help you improve your scores in IB Economics, whether that be on an in-class quiz, a test, or ultimately the IB exam. So if you want some more information, check out the description box below. And other than that, enjoy this video. All right, well, here we go. The free trade diagram has a base diagram underneath it. And that base diagram is what I refer to as the rule of 11. Where does the rule of 11 come from? Well, if you think back to your studies of microeconomics, if you've been following this channel, or if you haven't, all it is it's the basic supply and demand diagram for any product that you might want to sell. So international economics looks at micro diagrams and then adds one element to them, which is going to be a new supply line that's called supply world. So how do you draw this thing? All right. So you are going to apply the rule of 11, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, quantity, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 11 components of the rule of 11, and then you are going to add one very simple line, which is the supply W line or supply world. Okay, when that happens, you create some new, and I'll talk to you about the story in a second, because there's always a story. Always Q2, and this is going to be Q3. All right, so there's always a story. So let's follow the story. So that's how you draw the thing, yeah? Now, let's talk about what happened. Well, imagine you were living in the Ukraine and you grew corn. Well, guess what? Before the Ukraine opened up its market to the world, there was a happy little equilibrium of P1Q1 here, right? P1Q1. And then what happened? Well, the Ukrainian government opened up its market to the world. And what did it do? Well, as a result of that, I forgot my P1 there. What P2 it should be. What happened there is there was a decrease in the price of corn down to what level? Down to PW. All right, the price world. So how does that look? So P1Q1 is what's happening in the Ukraine for corn. And then all of a sudden, the Ukraine starts letting people bring corn in from outside, and as a result, there's a new supply curve, and the price of corn drops, and there's a new equilibrium. The market is operating right here at PWQ2. Well, that's pretty interesting, right? So what happened to producers in the Ukraine? Well, when the market was getting P1 price, all of these producers in the Ukraine were receiving, or rather were able, willing and able to sell corn in the Ukraine. But then the price dropped down to PW. So what happened then? Well, guess what? All of these people, suppliers, these are family farms in the Ukraine, family farms in the Ukraine losing their farms, literally, because the price now of PW has put all of these people out of business. All right, so how would you figure out who is producing all of this corn? Because we know that Q2 is being consumed in the Ukraine. Well, that's pretty easy. Watch this. You follow the supply curve, right? So you start at 0 and you go out to Q3, but you follow the supply curve, and all of the corn in the Ukraine up to here is being supplied by whom? Domestic producers of corn. Where? In the Ukraine. But at this price level, what happens? As soon as we go past PW, these Ukrainian farmers can no longer play the game because they can't produce corn for a cheap enough price. And so therefore, in the Ukraine, they start consuming world corn produced in other parts of the world. And that's how free trade promotes lower prices and higher quantities of corn being produced pretty much all over the world. Okay, so who are the winners? Well, the winners are the consumers in the Ukraine, because they used to have to pay P1. Now they're paying PW, and there's more corn available to them. Who are the losers? The losers are the suppliers of corn in the Ukraine who can no longer participate at the PW price level. And guess what's going to happen? These people are going to be upset and they're going to go to their politicians. And that's when all of the tension between free trade and protectionism starts. So if you take a look at that diagram all nice and clean up, it would look like this. Okay? Same exact thing. You got basically the rule of 11. Just to review the rule of 11, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then the free trade diagram is going to include a new PW, right? This supply curve, right? And some new Q2, Q3s, okay? So that's the free trade diagram. Why is this diagram important? Because as you move through international economics, free trade and protectionism unit, we are going to start adding, or you are going to start adding protective tariffs, which is going to be a shift of the supply curve, the world supply curve upward. This one's going to come up like that. Then we're going to see a subsidy, and the domestic supply curve is going to shift outward. A quota is going to do that as well. But all of those are built on this diagram, and that's why I think this diagram is so important. All right? So that's how you draw the free trade diagram. Well, there you have it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want more information on the subscriptions available for IB Economics students around the world, check out the description box below. All right, my friends, a reminder to be good to yourselves out there. Be kind to someone today, and we'll talk to you in a bit.